Nicaragua by Olivia and Hannah Cameron. Long ago, Nicaragua was a peaceful country, but later it turned into an extremely poor and unstable country with rivalries and many repeated American interventions.
President Zayala. In 1893, Zayala became the president of Nicaragua. In 1900, Nicaragua was in the midst of modernizing revolution. President Zayala was influenced by the European philosophers and nation builders to throw away the feudal systems of Nicaragua that was freezing their country. Zayala wanted to throw away the feudal systems because it was causing a stop in the country's works.
Theodore Roosevelt. He was one of the founders of American Purism. He was also responsible for Zayala's overthrow because he prepared a principle that justified it. He was eager to solve troubles with foreign nations. And his most recognized foreign policy was the creation of the Panama Canal.
A quote by Theodore was, "By far the most important action I took in foreign affairs during the time I was president was related to the Panama Canal. There are plenty of other things I started merely because the time had come that whoever was in power would have started them. But the Panama Canal would not have started if I had not taken control of it. Because if I had followed the traditional or conservative method, I should have submitted an admirable state paper to Congress. The debate would be proceeding at this moment, and the beginning of the work on the canal would be 50 years in the future. Fortunately, the opportunity came at a period when I could act unhampered. Accordingly, I took the isthmus, started the canal, and then left Congress not to debate the canal, but to debate me." Theodore Roosevelt.
The Panama Canal. Nicaragua's citizens have always wanted to build a canal. The fact that volcanoes kept erupting has been in the way of building the canal. The building of the canal is very costly. Theodore Roosevelt asked Congress for $140 million to construct the Panama Canal across Nicaragua. Reasons for the canal to not be built were 1. Volcanoes kept erupting, and 2. The cost of building the canal. Reasons for the canal to be built: 1. Good trade route. 2. Connects Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, so one does not have to go all the way around. And 3. Link the navies to become one naval force.
Nicaragua's citizens had hired a reputable from New York to manufacture the postage stamps for the country. The stamps of Nicaragua showed the country's most notable geographical landmarks. The stamps caused a huge decrease on the cost of the building of the canal, from $109 million to $40 million. This made it more possible for the Panama Canal to be built.
On October 10, 1909, Estrada became president of Nicaragua and appealed to the United States for diplomatic recognition. What the revolution did. The money earned was used to raise and equip the militia and to be well financed. This did not prove a great force, but it proclaimed a march on Managua. This march caused a corruption among the people and eventually bogged down in the jungle. It resulted in Estrada's rebellion had given his man the statue of belligerence. Cannon and Gross had been entitled to prisoner of war status, and that made Zayala a war criminal. Zayala was now a war criminal. And Estrada's rebellion had given his men the statue of belligerence.
Christmas and Bonilla. Christmas and Bonilla met in New Orleans to make their plan to overthrow the Honduran government
and to create the Hornet.
by the Hornet. The Hornet was a plane that would be taken to the Honduran government to crash the city.